Today I bring my own book. This is an ascension journey recorded as it happened, and this is an oracle book. So it's a book for you to just open up in any page when you feel called and read the message and see how it resonates with what you're experiencing in this now moment. And the feedback I've had is that the resonance and the activation that this book has brought to the people that have read and are reading, are using, is quite fascinating, because I sometimes go back to my own book and I just randomly open in a page, and it's always bang on resonating through in this now moment. And I was going to pick a page, but I thought I will do it live right before the cards. Of course, I've shuffled the cards and I picked the cards, and you know, we can consider the law of attraction. I've understood the message, I'm ready to go. And it could be that the law of attraction might bring me a page in here that could resonate with the message, or it could be a message completely different that could be related to a specific person or a group, or you know, that will be reading this message, or it could be a complementary message to the oracle cards. But yes, so this is reminiscence of my soul ascension to unconditional love. It's a journey between me becoming a mother and understanding that our children our children come to extract the best versions of ourselves as they grow, as you know, through their light, through their unconditional love. And it was a journey that it took me a while to see this, because I was falling into patterns of culture and societal way of raising a child, when I realized that this child was not only bringing me messages from my soul through him, I also understood the level of unconditional love of my child coming back and trying again. Mommy, just see this. Mommy, just see this. And when I started seeing, I started to realize, wait a minute, he's showing me something about me that can be changed, that fully doesn't resonate with me. And I wasn't not able to see it until now, but now I see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And this is how my journey started. He was only months old. And even through a baby that could not communicate, um, his soul communicated deeply with me. And every child will be doing this with their parents. Every child has a purpose of coming to help you become the best version that you are. Because as we become the best version that we are, they can navigate the world, the earth, the 3D, yeah, with more ease, carrying less ancestral traumas, carrying less ancestral programming. And our journey has been about this renewing of our souls every step of the way. So it's just recollections of moments I've had that made me really wake up. And those moments happen every single day in your life. These moments happen on a day-to-day basis. Feeding time, bath time, bedtime, playtime, interaction time. These are the moments that healing will come through, and these messages from your child to you will come through. And once you learn this lesson, what I've learned now that, you know, is a little bit older, I am bringing somewhat these wisdom that you know, he facilitated for me to learn back to his experiences in the world right now, to help him navigate the 3D, because they know how to navigate the 4D and the 5D. They know really well but the 3D can get confusing for them. And we're here to then be able to see the 3D through the lenses of unconditional love so that they can navigate the 3D through our guidance as well. So it's an exchange. They help us see the 4D and the 5D, and we help them then navigate the 3D through the lenses of their own unconditional love. So I'm gonna just pick a card, pick a page. So these are all 2-3 minutes read, and I would just get the most important information, okay, from the page, so it's not too long. And if you're interested, this book is ready on Kindle, it's ready on soft cover through the Amazon. Okay, now have the link below in the description. Okay, so parent in conflict. So you know how it feels to be in conflict with yourself or others. And do you consider your parenting conflict in relation to others, your children, or to yourself? Because a lot of the times we could be in conflict with our own inner child. It's not necessarily that we are in conflict with our own child, but we are in conflict with our own inner child. And here in this page, I kind of break down this understanding of feeling in conflict as a parent. And as a parent, we are very aware of how we were raised, and maybe we're not, but maybe we are. Maybe we understood as a child ourselves that some of the way we were spoken to, some of the ways we were left out of understanding what's going on in a family, some of the ways that perhaps we're too involved in what's going on in a family didn't resonate with us, and we had no way to choose or filter this, way of being in a family. We literally learned through osmosis. We had to go with it, accept it. Even little things like you never probably decided what you wanted for tea. It's what was on the table. And at times, you did have to eat the food that you didn't fancy. And that probably gave you resilience, gave you determination, which is, it's great. But at that time, there's just a small resonance that wasn't um, um, matching with your heart. And perhaps you needed to just voice that. And even though you would probably still eat the food that was on the table, probably another food wouldn't be cooked, but you couldn't voice it. And even voicing, that would have come some sort of understanding, negotiation from the parent to be able to, say, well, this is what mommy decided to cook today, mommy or daddy, and therefore we're going to eat that today. Maybe next time when mommy has more time, I'll ask what we all want and we can get a share decision. But sometimes we don't even get that understanding. We don't even get that chance to speak up and say, mommy, I don't feel like eating this today. And it's not about supplying all the needs of the child without a question, which I probably went into that extreme, but it's about allowing that space for you as a child to have had that moment to voice your conflict, your inner conflict at that moment in time, and then be able to have an explanation of how the decisions were made, or how they can explain to you, well, that's the best for today. This is what we have, this is what we chose, whatever explanation, right? And sometimes we know we don't even get that explanation, even when we try to voice ourselves. So there's a lot of conflict in the ways that we were raised, if you come from, whatever, few decades ago, very much in conflict. Today, there's a lot more negotiation with our children, right? Well, we are allowing our children to make more choices. We're allowing our children to decide for themselves, giving them a power of speaking, of voice, of thought, of expression. And perhaps sometimes for us to be able to go there is because we had so much conflict that we go the other extreme, where we allow everything. And then, of course, we end up with children that are perhaps a bit demanding, that are perhaps a little bit less aware of others' needs, because their needs are always being 100% supplied without negotiation. Yeah, there was no, again, we're doing the extreme, but we're not negotiating with them as well. That there is a family negotiation, okay? And I've been to those extremes, and now we're coming back to the middle. And it's funny that that came in because the message talks about conflict, negotiation, and achievement, right? And I have come to this journey and realization only this week, the end of last week, about, um, how far have I gone into supplying and 100% the needs without a question, and now that I can see that the I created a little bit of a demand trait, and therefore we need to bring that into balance, right? And we're going to bring that into balance with love, from love, but it's a way of understanding how we can all work well as a family in a more balanced way. Everyone has needs in the family, and it's a question to be asking in those moments, because we sometimes need to understand, is this conflict within me from my inner child, from the people around me? Because it's perhaps one of the best way to discern what kind of internal conflict you're going through. And then of course in the book, when I was editing a couple of years later, before I even decided to, well, I wasn't editing, I was reviewing these were blogs that I posted before. um, I was reviewing them, and then it was funny because I was seeing the situation in a completely different mind, in completely different lenses, and lenses more aligned with unconditional love. And even today, reading this, I'm not reading it fully for you guys, but I have. I remembered the blog, and I remembered the message. I remembered the code. I remembered the understanding. Um, I can see myself now going back into a more um, middle ground with this situation, right? How we were raised and how we want to raise our children. We come from a rebellious way to say, I'm not raising my child the way I was raised, and we go completely extreme. But now I'm finding myself coming back to that middle, and this is perhaps a message for many parents, for many families that have made that choice, right, to do it differently. And yes, we can do it differently, but even doing differently, we are learning these little lessons that sometimes um, the grounding and the middle point and the balance will come through. Yeah, just remember that these um, balancing forces are always available for us to tap in, and they will come through. And this is why it's important to understand, where is the conflict, where is the conflict. Okay, so thank you very much. Yeah, it's here, and it will be ready. It's ready on Amazon for anyone that would like to have a peek, have a look. So this or the oracle cards here talking about um, again, negotiations, contracts, and communications. Okay, this lady is inside a portal. I'm seeing this as a soul contract. I'm seeing this, there's another portal here. This is this person's own portal, right? This is a portal of nature, and perhaps there is a portal of earth. And every person in the world will have their own portal of light. This is called boundary stones, and the way I'm seeing this is, sometimes we have to put boundaries in what we are trying to achieve and what we're trying to accomplish through negotiations and communication. This is how a soul contract can be changing. Sometimes a soul contract can change, and we don't understand that why a relationship or situation is changing until after, and we realize that we are resisting these changes, that we're not understanding, that we're, why is it different? And perhaps a soul contract can change, and a soul contract can come from anything, situation, um, a family bound, relationship bound, friendship bound, can come from anything. It's anything that you have a relationship with, okay? Even your profession, you have a relationship with. And through your profession, you have relationship with people in those settings. So there's always a soul contract, an agreement, a soul agreement while you are experiencing that journey. But as we're coming from these readings, if you look at the readings in the last few days, we are really stepping since the beginning of the new moon in February, perhaps even January. We are stepping into our self-love, and we stepped into different aspects of self-love, different depths of self-love. And perhaps you are trying to stand your ground a little bit more, keep your feet steady on the ground, and not let people push you around, not let people change your decisions, not let people change your opinions. Perhaps there's someone that has really, really strong opinions of what they like or what they don't like, and somehow you feel a bit influenced to change your own opinion about it. And maybe you perhaps need a little bit more time to integrate your own ways of being, your own opinions, your own decisions, to be able to, return to that situation, to that relationship, to that space, to that time. And maybe you are in this space because if you look at the reading last week, you have entered your own temple stone. You are inside your temple stone, and when you're inside, you are in self-mastery, and everything that's happening around you on the 3D, all the people you are relating to and communicating, you might need to communicate and have some negotiations to really stick to the plan that you have decided to do that's best for you and the highest good of all. I've always asked that what I pick and choose is best for me and the highest good of all. I used to ask for the highest good of all, but in that asking for the highest good of all, I never included myself. So I make sure that now I put myself in, even though when I say for the highest good of all, I should automatically know I'm included, but I wasn't. So I added this part on the mantra when I ask for something, for me and the highest good of all, because that means I'm included in that all. And this is my way of, you know, making myself aware that I exist in the unity of all. Um, a lot of the times we leave ourselves behind or left out or out of the question because we're so driven to look after others, to help others. And again, this message of self-love is to include yourself in that self-love, yeah, in that unconditional love. So this is a way of you perhaps standing your ground a little bit more, and you're going to have situations where you're going to have to practice this. You could call it a test, but it's a situation for you to integrate, reinforce from love, reinforce for yourself from love. And maybe you will need to negotiate to keep your plans according to how you have perceived before, from that timeline that you realized, that you saw it and you said, I'm stepping into this timeline. And then halfway through the timeline you have these pressures and you think, no, I don't want to let anyone pressure me at the moment. I know what I need, I know what I want from my heart, and you have discerned this, and now is a time for that practice. Okay. And again, the Six of Wands is that powerful discernment to understand where you stand in your own decision. And that comes with parenting as well, isn't it? Sometimes you have to be able to say a no, and you understand all the reasons why a no. You can simplify that understanding for a child, and they're still probably not going to get it. But you know what? When they're on their 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, when they're older, they will understand that they're always going to get an understanding from a decision. Okay? And that is an amazing thing for them to realize, because when they go into the workforce, right, to the world, they will be seeking an understanding for a no or a yes. They will be informing themselves for a no and a yes. So it's very important to be able to say no, not only for your child, but for anyone that are stepping into your space, that you need that boundary, you need that space, so that um, you know, you're able to communicate that no, but they're also able to understand. And through that, you're achieving, right? Achievement, your heart space. I like how these two cards, a portal card and a Six of Wands, This is your inner power. This is your heart. This is your heart discernment. It's green, right? It's your heart space. It's your heart chakra. You're opening your heart chakra to these practices of self-empowerment, of um, you know, holding yourself, your versions of yourself, and not falling for the versions of others, not allowing the versions of others to influence your opinion and decisions. Okay, and it's all coming from the heart, and you know this. You know you're not coming from any type of trigger. You know you're not coming from any type of programming or limiting belief this time. You totally know you're coming from your heart, and it's okay to step into that space of setting boundaries and saying no to achieve what you want to achieve. Yeah, and not everything's perfect. You are, see, the magic carpet is navigating through light, through darkness, through air, water, earth, and fire. Yeah, and the carpet might get burned, might get wet, might get dirty, because it's okay to make mistakes, but through the mistakes you're going to realize from where you're coming from. Yeah, and sometimes, yeah, we think we're coming from the heart, but sometimes we could be coming from a slight deep within trigger. And yeah, you wouldn't realize if you acted in a certain way. So sometimes it's okay. You got to be okay um, um, to make those little mistakes. Even those little mistakes makes you flawless, because you're navigating, because you're going with the flow, because you're going with the energies. Perhaps you've been a bit pushed and you pushed back a little bit, but guess what? It's navigation. That's your navigation system, okay? And the more you step into yourself to take that breath, takes one breath to go into your heart. With practice, eventually takes one breath to go into your heart, and you will be um, making decisions more from the heart, more consistently, more frequently. And with the full moon approaching, I like that the full moon came at the end, but with the full moon in Leo, a snow full moon, snow is white. Snow is pure droplets of water. It's crystal clear. It's white, but it's crystal clear. Snow is purity. Snow is purification. It's clarity. This full moon is bringing you a lot of clarity where you stand, where you are, where you want to be, and how you're going to navigate through it. Okay, but we have to remember that, you know, we have our ego, we have our programming, we have our limiting beliefs, and even though they could be well looked after and treated and released, there's always something to understand that comes from those spaces, and be open, because with gentle moderation, yeah, because the full moon can suck us into this roller coaster of emotions and actions and decision making, and the mind can go into a roller coaster of thoughts. Our emotions can go in a roller coaster of thoughts, and we could be a little bit more um, acting from urgency or impulsiveness rather than from the heart. And even through this full moon, which is very powerful, we can still work through a little bit of moderation. It's not about controlling. This card also talks about slow down, okay? And slow down for me means just taking that one breath. And if you have been practicing going in your heart, you know how quickly you can get into your heart. But remembering to do that step before any big decisions. And the gentle moderation says, take a time, pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you are trying to accomplish. And like I said, perhaps you are in the midst of making a decision about different things that are happening all at once, or different things that come through, and you have to pick one or two of those options, and you have decided the reason why you're picking those options. Is it for finance? Is it for emotional balance, to balance your emotions? Is it to bring the best out of you? Is it, is it to bring the best out of your career? Is it the best to bring out of qualities about you? Whatever decision you decided to go for, of course things can change, absolutely. But if you go with moderation and take your time, you can reassess the situation every time there is, you feeling the pressure of others to make that decision, or feeling the pressure of others to change your opinion, change your decision. Because when you enter that timeline a few days ago in that reading that we talked about, if your story is following this timeline of these readings, you will notice that you were trying to accomplish something. You saw a lenses of the reasons why you picked that timeline, and now things are changing. And yes, it's okay, but is that right? Something's coming now. Is that change coming from a self-sabotage trait that's still living within yourself? Ask that question. Are you changing your mind from the pressure of others, from the opinion of others? Is that a self-sabotage trait? Okay? Or are you changing your decision, what you planned, what you're trying to accomplish, because now you see another light, another lenses that are more expansive, more amplified, and it's going to give you a greater outcome? And you definitely see this and you're excited about it. Because if you're changing your plans and you're not excited about it, it's a self-sabotage. Yeah, this is, if you're not excited about changing your plans, what you're trying to accomplish before, you're doing from a space of probably self-sabotage. So ask the question. Yeah, that's why it's important to use gentle moderation, slow down. If you're going through this full moon now and you've already been working with energy, you've already been aware of energies, and you can pick up changes in frequencies and energy and situations and people, and wherever you go, you can take that time to go into your own heart and discern if the changes that you're feeling pressure to do, are coming from that space of self-sabotage or really from the heart. Because if it is coming from the heart, you will continue to stay excited about it. You will continue to have passion about those plans. And if the passion and excitement and enjoyment are dimming down, most likely it's coming from a very hidden space of self-sabotage. The Maggie, signs and divine timing. And yes, absolutely. 5 is change, right? The moment you go in your heart and you start to see the signs of divine timing and synchronicities and things are falling into place, you are in the timeline that you have picked right at the beginning, and the timeline is showing you all the divine timing and signs that you need to keep going. If at any point you need to change direction, make sure the direction also excites you, and then you know that other things have fallen into place to help you stand in a different timeline, perhaps a more expanded one, but the excitement needs to be there. Okay? And yes, you are the magician. You are the magician. That's why going into your heart, I will keep saying in every single reading, going into your heart is the space where you create magic. Going into your heart is the 369 code that everyone talks about manifestation. You cannot change your reality if if you're going from trigger points and a space of trigger, a space of limiting beliefs. You're going to just repeat the same story, the same cycle through different people, different situations. The alchemy is the same. What we're trying to do here is to go within, to change the alchemy within, to then change the outside. Because you are your own earth. You are your own light ship. You are your own light. Okay? You have earth within you, but you also stand on the earth, and everyone else does. So we are multiple earth merged together with Mother Gaia. You are your own, light ship, starship. And for you to be able to navigate, for you to be able to navigate this earth, you know, You need to try. You need to be in your heart. You need to um, um, find those versions of yourself. Okay, find those versions of yourself. Um, and that is your journey, is your soul purpose journey. This card always comes to me when I'm about to go through a cleanse, and I perhaps have already gone through the dark night of the soul, and then I'm going through a cleanse, okay? And I'm going to that way. You've gone in your heart, you know, you have been going through this mastery of really setting that boundary where you are protecting the timeline you have chosen, so you can follow that path, so you can see the signs and the divine timing coming through, the energy shiftings changing, and you understand right, left, straight, turn, backwards, straight. You know, you are sensing, you are so tapped in and connected, and you don't want to be led by the energies of others with their opinions, with the, you know, or even with your own mindset of thinking what are they going to think. You don't want to even step in that space. And you know that for you to continue that mastery, sometimes we have to take a break and have another cleansing. Okay, another cleansing, and through our timelines we're going to have little stops, and you know, can we call them like checkpoints, right? We done a bit of mastery, we cleared so much, we understood so much, but now we need to just get rid of the rest of the toxins, and then we continue on a timeline, and then we're able to pick up more ideas, more downloads, more upgrades, and we are, you know, integrating more. And then as we do, we are leaving behind old behaviors, old patterns, so we need to cleanse again. Right? So the cleansing will come more often. It doesn't have to necessarily come with the dark night of the soul. Okay, this cleansing can also come through your integration period, when you're integrating the new versions of yourself. So cleansing is very important, drinking a lot of water, you know, bathing yourself in water, asking water to cleanse you when you're having a shower. um, and you know, for those that connect with the elements, connect with the water element and sit with it. Yeah. um, and it's very important to allow these cleansings to come through. Cleansings will bring, I like how this card is 32 and that's the one, alchemical mutation. So when we are changing our light, increasing in light, because every time you have a purification, you're removing stuff. So it's at 32, so you remove something. Now you're at 31, so you're having this DNA lit up, you're having this soul lit up, this physical body lit up, your DNA is changing. um, your physical body, physical appearance will change a little bit. You might notice the change in the color of your eyes. You might notice, even like in your taste buds, you might notice slight changes in the things that you crave to eat. Okay, this is all alchemical mutation that's going on, because you have removed toxins, you have removed what no longer serves you. You go from a 32 to a 31, and then through here you go to another phase of integration. Okay, so where you are slowing down, you're doing what you need to do. um, you're creating gentle moderation, you're integrating, you're creating magic. Yeah, you're navigating earth, and then another point of purification might come. And I find that through the moon phases, the healing, you know, through the 4 phases in a Patreon, we go to about between 1 or 3 purification points, as a group. So I highly recommend, if you want to join the Patreon community, we can do this together, guided, um, supported. Okay, and then of course we are 24 hours away from the full moon, the snow full moon in Leo. I am a Leo, and I'm already feeling the intensity, and I have found that the gentle moderation has helped me see more depth of, you know, this magic that is coming through for me, for my navigation, the signs and the divine timing. And yes, through the first quarter, I have created actions. Some of the actions were more than what I needed. Some of the actions were spot on, but through that, I've understand exactly where I am at now. I understand how to navigate my light ship around Earth, and I can already feel this purification coming. I'm already feeling that all these decisions, all those actions, guided actions, now they're things that I can just drop it, right? I've understood that there is dead ends in some of those, and there is, you know, a long road in the others. And I'm deciding, I'm making those decisions. Um, and I'm ready for that full moon. Are you ready for that full moon? Okay. And again, we're here creating this space of love for ourselves, self love. We're understanding deeper meanings of self love. I highly recommend, if you have a chance and you would like to have a read of the other readings. They seem to be a quite progressive journey into self love, deeper levels of self love. And thank you so much for being here with me today. And I'll put a link for the book for the Patreon. And I look forward to hearing from you. What is it about your self love you're realizing? And write it down in the comments. Let's have a chat. Thank you so much.